Okay, so hi guys, this is Sayan again. Today we'll be doing something really interesting. I just found out a way to a long lasting problem in my head. So, you guys must have used the Google Colab platform for mostly your deep learning training. Now, the problem with this is that you can't really, so there's a constraint that you have to use this particular browser GUI. Okay, so you are kind of constrained to it. So I thought that maybe we could like use some more minimalistic way to do the same stuff, to do the same kind of training. And I just found out that there's already been some development on that particular problem. So actually this particular thing I found out quite 2 or 3 months before, but today I'm doing a video on it. So the situation is somewhat like this: you have some code with you, not necessarily it is a notebook file. Okay, so you are like accustomed to running only notebook files on Google Colab. So maybe you only have a like .py file, and you have also some dependency like some modules you want to import and all. So that becomes pretty difficult because you can just run one notebook file here with this setup, and you can't have like normal projects consist of different modules and all. You need to import things up. So how you can do that? Okay, so basically this is a solution to that one only. So for this you'll be needing a Google account. Okay, one editor. I'll be using VS Code editor because they have got this support of remote-ssh. Also Sublime and other popular editor will be having that thing. Also you don't need a editor for this particular thing. You can just set up this thing on using a terminal. Okay, also you can do the same thing using Windows, but I'm just using Ubuntu here, Ubuntu 2104. You can also use the lower versions also, that's not a constraint. So let's dive into the part. This is the small code. So basically we are just kind of exporting, or you can say exposing, our Google Colab session that is inside our account to our local runtime, I mean our local terminal. Okay, so this runtime is remote. Okay, we don't need to have Python locally installed for this. Okay, we are kind of using the GUI part in our local computer, but we are using the resources from Google Colab, right? And that's where that's what the necessity is basically, because you want to use their GPU because it's quite fast, right? You can't do it on your local computer so fast. So this particular code I will keep it in the description part. Okay, this particular code you need to have in your Google Colab session. I keep it always in this particular file. Okay, that is called remote-ssh. So whenever I need to have a session on Google Colab connecting to my local terminal, I do this. So this kind of exposes this terminal to a, so this not terminal, I'm sorry, this current session to a SSH connection, right? So you can see here we have something called a Colab SSH. You need to install that first. Okay, and you launch. So these are the imports that you need to do. There is something called token. Okay, and I'll explain these parts later. Okay, for now let's just focus on this part. Okay, this is the code. One thing that you need to do is that this token part. Okay, so for that just open up ngrok.com. Okay, so they are kind of a tunneling solution. I'm sorry, tunneling solution for your SSH connections. Tunneling is kind of, you are having something locally and you want to expose it to the whole world. Okay, then you can tunnel your connection. Okay, they have a free service, okay, which is pretty decent. If you want to go for some business procedure, then like for business requirements it will be needing some more resources, and then you can go for some premium account. But for one individual account, I think for those requirements only you can go with the free service. So I'm not hovering much here. All you need to do is that you go to this site, that is dashboard dot, you can go to ngrok.com actually, and then you need to go to this authentication part. So there are a lot of sections here, getting started and all. You can explore them actually for your good, but most of these are like kind of locked currently because you need to upgrade to the premium account. But you can go to this tunnel your auth token, okay. You click on that, you will get your token displayed there, okay. I'm not showing that because I don't want to expose my auth token to you. So that's kind of your auth token, and you copy that, and this, so I have another cell up here, and this token variable is kind of a string, and that I have assigned that particular token to this variable. So you can also directly copy it. For tutorial purpose, I am just storing it in a token variable and then passing it on. So this part is okay. Now what is Sayan? So this is just like a password, okay. So you don't, so I've kept a very like a dummy password here. So this we'll be needing it later on. I'll show you where actually. This part is over. Now I was talking that we need to run projects, right? So what you do, here I am using a very like dummy project, that is this one, okay, some hello world project that I found on GitHub. So you copy that. What it does is basically it adds this particular project to your Colab session, remote session, okay. Now why it is needed? So when you, in your case, let's say you're running a project, so what you do is basically you create a GitHub repository and you edit all the things, okay. Now you want to actually run it and see how it is working. Say you're going to do a deep learning stuff, you have almost coded the whole thing out, okay. This is not the testing phase, you are actually going to run it, okay, for long time. So what you do, you put it in a GitHub repository, get the link like this, okay, and then you put a function init over that. So it will introduce that particular folder to your runtime, okay. And after that we need this particular thing. So there is a problem with Colab, is that after a particular time of inactivity, after a particular time duration of inactivity, it disconnects, okay. So for that we need to have an infinite loop. So this is kind of infinite loop, and I've added a time.sleep so that we don't go on always looping over. We go on for one pass, then sleep, then again one pass. So this cell always runs, okay. There is no inactive session here. This part over, right? I've also discussed this part. You need to go to your auth token and then copy that particular auth token and paste it here in place of token as a string variable, and this is a password. You can set whatever password you want. There are also SSH okay, there is an option called SSH keys. You can also go for that particular thing, but I'm not complicating this tutorial much, okay. Now next thing what you need to do is that run this cell, okay. Cool. It says token is not defined, okay. We need to run all the cell. So I have a cell up here which assigns the token variable to my actual token, okay. Let's see, it is running, it has given me this thing, okay. Now you remember it, okay. This is important. You don't need to remember it, it is always going to stay here. And don't close this particular thing, okay. Don't close this tab. This tab is important. You close this tab and it will be inactive again. So just don't do that. Copied it, okay. Now I'm going to use VS Code for this particular setup, go to extensions like this. Okay, VS Code has a very good plugin supports, and that's why I will suggest you to use VS Code for this stuff, and it's really customizable. I think it should be remote-ssh. Yeah, so you click on this extension and install it. I've already installed it, that's why it's showing uninstall. Okay, then what you need to do is that you press Ctrl Shift P. Okay, then you need to type this remote. I already have that option because this is under my recent hits. Okay, at first time you need to do the whole thing, so just go till open configuration and it will show up. Okay, click on it. Okay, I save all my configurations here. You can do it anywhere you want. Okay, so this is my home folder, and under ssh config I am storing them. Okay, this is my GitHub setup, and here is my ngrok setup. Okay, so I'm just going to paste what I copied there. Okay, cool. Done. Now again press Ctrl Shift P. Okay, then go for connect to host. Done. Now this is from my local connections. I need to select this one, of course. It will open up a new one. Now see, this is my theme. Okay, now the theme will change as I go on continue and press our password, that is Sayan for my case. Okay, don't keep that Sayan for your case. Keep a strong password, and I'll also suggest use SSH keys. Okay, those are more secure. Okay, it might take a bit of time at first to connect the whole thing. Okay, see, the theme has gone. Now the whole, so basically it's using the hard drive of the memory of Google Colab. Okay, and so that's why this particular VS Code is running locally. Okay, I can close it now, I don't need that, but this is rendering everything from Google Colab session, my Google account associated Colab session. Okay, now let's go to Explorer, open folder. Okay, now you need to go to content. I want to open that project, right? So from here you can do a lot of things. You have got access to everything almost now. So this is the Python hello world. Okay, this is the one that I need. Let's open it up. Okay, it's loading. There's one more thing that you need to do. Okay, now remember, you do this particular thing once you have got this SSH connection. Okay, don't do this locally. Now see, it's already running it on Google Colab SSH, right? Once you see this, you do something like this, Python. Okay, you need to have that Python extension, right? Now see, I have been running this for 1 or 2 hours past, that's why it hasn't stopped. But once you start it again, like restart the session, let's say after 1 or 2 hours, this will be gone, the session will be closed, right? So you need to reinstall it. So each time you do that, you need to install it, and that will be installed there on this on the cloud. Okay, so I can uninstall it and install again, that's not a problem, but you need to install Python for this. Okay, this is the Python extension. This is not Python again, this is the Python extension, so that VS Code can run the Python thing using the resources. This is just the Python wrapper. This is not the core Python interpreter. Okay, Now let's go back to File Explorer. See, everything is uploaded. Okay, one last thing that we need to do, Control Shift P, we need to select interpreter. Okay, again you can just type it on here, Python. See, it has come up because I have already been typing it. You need to type it full for the first time, then Python select interpreter, go on. Okay, now see, these are my local Python versions. You don't need to just like don't click on them, click on enter interpreter path. Okay, find, we're going to use the, so this is the folders for from Colab. So the path will be user bin Python 3. Okay, done. Just check using this terminal that you have got that Python or not. So let's type Python version, sorry, Python 3 version. I think, okay, see, this is Python. So this Python is not actually your local Python. This is the from the one from Colab. Okay, now let's run it. Okay, let's see if it is running or not. So control fn, like control and function 5, you can also run it from here. Okay, let's run it without debugging. We have to select interpreter for that. Okay, just remember that. It has run. See, so this whole thing has run on Colab only. Okay, you can also import TensorFlow. I do a lot of development on like training stuff on this Colab using this particular extension, and it won't stop because I have this infinite loop here. See, this is the infinite loop and that is running. Okay, it will give you a lot of time to run. So that's how you can do. One more thing, so say you want to go for whole day training. Okay, so what you can do, what I do for that, it's a very like simple hack for that. You use your SSH connection. So here just delete the whole thing. Okay, now go back here, copy this, this is my host. Okay, so we will SSH to root, root is the username, see here, user. Okay, then root @ v and port number is this. Okay, go. Okay, now add password. So password is Sayan. Boom. So you see you have a Python here. This is the whole thing running on this Colab only. Now how you can run the same hello world program, go to, so you are in the root folder, see, like the home folder you can say, then cd content, this is everything on Colab. Okay, this is not your local host. Content, and it was, I guess, yeah, it was Python hello world. Okay, let's hit it. Okay, hello world.py, want to run it, Python 3 hello world.py. Whoa, it has run. So that's how you can also, so what happens sometimes is that you want to go for a whole day training. You need to keep VS Code open for whole day in your laptop. Rather, what you can do, you can just go on in a power saving mode, open up a terminal, do this and say this is your main.py. You go to that particular file and just trigger this command. Okay, now this command, so your power consumption will be very low because everything is running like on cloud. The minimal, the only thing that is happening here is that the networking part. So um, the outputs are coming from the cloud towards your computer, so it's just a net consumption. You need to have a good internet connection for this, and unlimited one will be like suggested, because if it's going to run for whole day, it can maybe stop in between and like doing your whole training. But that's how we can do this stuff actually. Okay, I think this was kind of useful. I thought of making a video, that's why this was kind of not planned very much. So if you guys just like it, it took me a bit of time to set up the whole thing for my need, for my interest only. But then I thought kind of sharing this whole stuff, because I couldn't find a like I found the whole thing from YouTube only, but it was like distributed in different parts. Like the ngrok part was somewhere, and then the Colab part was somewhere, the sh part was somewhere, then the vscode part was somewhere, and I needed to kind of patch the whole thing up. So maybe you guys find it helpful, mainly those guys who do a deep learning training on a daily basis, or like long training. So maybe this thing can be helpful for you guys. Okay, so just please like the video if you liked it. Thank you for your patience. Thanks.